Right, before I get into it, I know I've reached my nonsense threshold for this year because I went out for a family meal last night. It was specials night. A few of us wanted the specials, and basically you can't have the specials, you got to pre-order. And I was like gritting my teeth. Luckily I'd only had the 2 pints, and I just thought to myself, what is the point of having a specials night and you have to pre-order? Or, that's fair enough, but when I book a table, let me know I got to pre-order. Or when I turn up there half hour early, let me know if you're having the specials, you've got to pre-order. So that spoiled my night. It didn't spoil my night, but it just let me know that I'd reached my threshold for nonsense this year, because I thought 1 more pint and I'll be doing flying headbutts over the bar. Alrighty then, welcome back and thanks for checking in with me, Nathan here at Lewis Garden Services. Now, maybe last week I put a video out just asking you if you had any questions for me about the business and stuff like that. I was sat there with a poorly dog. She'd just been spayed. She's fine. And for those of you that want to know, the brown dog is Bella. She's just around a 1-year-old Cocker Spaniel. Anyway, she's had the stitches out this morning. She is fine, so thanks for asking. Right, questions that got sent in, which I will answer. Damien over in Ireland from Mr. Tidy Garden. I have already messaged him. His father recently passed away, so I'm sending my condolences your way. Now, he asked about working with my dad because when my dad started the company back in 84, 83, I don't know, whenever it was. And yeah, my mother worked with him, my older brother worked with him, then I worked with him. And Damien wants to know what it was like working with a parent with my dad. So yeah, it was good. And I've been asked a couple of times about doing a video on how I started and all that, and I just haven't done it really because, well, I don't want to. So out of respect for Damien and what he's going through, I will answer the question. Working with my dad, yeah, it was good, it was great, and I wish I'd made more of it. Looking back on it, obviously we all learn these things as we go along, but yeah, I do regret certain things, kind of not spending more time in work and dedicate myself to that rather than going out and drinking and womanizing and stuff like that. And I was into martial arts at the time, so a lot of other things got put in front of work. So yeah, it was good to answer Damien's question. Thanks for the question. And Damien, I hope you're doing well, mate. It's not going to be easy for you, and it won't be easy for a long time. So yeah, you look after yourself. Right, next question was... Right, Gary Holiday asked about general maintenance of machines. I think, let me have a look on my phone. He says he's recently started a garden business and be great to do a video on basic mower maintenance, hedge cutters, etc. I will put a video together. Basically, at the end of the season, my honest answer is I do nothing to my machines. They go into the shed, they go into storage, wherever they go, and I just forget about them for a bit over Christmas and into the new year. Obviously, a lot of the kit still gets used, so that's ongoing maintenance, which is just petrol stuff. Do you know what I mean? You've got air filters, fuel filters, spark plugs, sharpening, stuff like that. And pretty much with my mowers, I don't do too much with them. I'm not fanatical about cleaning them and keeping them tidy. They just have the decks scraped, the boxes are cleaned, I'll give them a jet wash off. I don't always jet wash my gear because certain parts of the mower don't like jet wash, and bearings and bits and bobs like that, and it's not great. So yeah, I just dig them out in the spring when I'm getting ready. A week or so before I know we're going to kick off. They've always been started through the winter because I never stop totally using machines, but they just get air filter, change of oil, clean the spark plug, new blade, sharpen blade. That's basically it. But I will do a video on how to basically do these things because I know some people just haven't got the ability to do it. And it's not that you haven't got the ability to do it, because I haven't really. I've just learned through experience of not being able to afford to take machines to the shop, or thinking I'm not taking that down there for someone to stick a spark plug in and change the oil. I'll do that. And you just learn to go as you go along, and you learn a bit more. So the honest answer is I don't do tons of maintenance. I should do more, but generally the machines, if you're buying good machines, oil change, air filter, fuel filter, they'll look after themselves more or less, and unless you get a breakdown. And then if you can't fix it, then take it to a shop. But yeah, good luck with the business, mate. So Darren Compton, hey mate, asked how I got into this industry. Well, like I say, family business. I was always around it from 11, 12, and just slowly started doing bits, helping out, and then it just seemed a career choice really, through helping out and carrying on. I will try and do a proper video on like my journey, I think, when I'm ready. I'm not ready yet, but I'll do one. Chris Wadey, one of them, anyway, whichever one it is, all right. Wondering how I get on with staff. Now, does that mean how I get on with them, or how I get on with them? How I get on with them is often I do the same thing as I did in the bar last night. I refrain from doing flying headbutts, but generally that doesn't happen. So basically, you got to think long and hard if you want to go from a one-man band where you might occasionally get help in to actually employing someone. Now, the guys that I have with me are, if I can find the correct terminology, would be on a seasonal casual contract, which means March till now, December, we're busy, and hours suit to how busy we are. It suits the people working with me at the minute, because by the time we get into real horrible weather, they don't want to work anyway. So yeah, that works for me. Now, employing people can be a minefield, and the way you can go about it is in lots of different directions. You can advertise someone you know. I've always found it's easier to take someone on who's younger, that I can kind of mould to however I want them doing it. Hello, fella. See, I've just reached the end of it. I'm totally out of the way, but I still got the dirtiest look for being parked by you. Right, where was I? Dealing with staff, not dealing, taking them on. So there's lots of avenues to taking on staff. Yes, extra hands in the summer, but then in the winter, like I say, a lot of people don't want to be at work in all weathers, and also I don't want to be taking on jobs that I don't want to be doing just to cover someone's wages, if that makes sense, because then I've got to go and do the jobs that covers those wages where I'm doing most of the work. So for me, it's like just a waste of time. But yeah, work is easier generally when there is more than one of you. But a lot of people are happy to work in on their own. When there's people out with me, there's bills to pay, obviously. It's not just my time, I've got to pay for other people's time. So yeah, so if you are taking someone on, think long and hard about it. I would get a proper contract in place. Everything you can get now online, so it's not going to cost you anything really. There are so much regs in place now where the rights of you as an employer are absolutely nothing compared to those as the rights of an employee. So think long and hard about that. Yeah, that's that one. Right, so I've had a couple of questions about PA1, PA6 application of pesticides, etc. Right, one was Mark Schofield, all right, and I should know this one. Graham's World and Graham's Grass Cutting Services. Let's see. Both asked about PA1, PA6. Right. PA1 is your handling, as I remember, of your pesticides. PA6, knapsack sprayer. So legally, if you're spraying chemicals, pesticides, herbicides, weed and feed treatments, etc., that's not on your property, then you need these licenses. Whoever checks on you, I do not know. I think the bottom line to it is that if something does go wrong and it comes back to you, then you've got your tickets, you've got your application record, you've done your site survey and all that, so you know what you're doing. Now, if you're not licensed, and if you are licensed, I don't think, and I'll probably get told off for this, you'll be doing things much different. The chances of you having a job where you're spraying anything else than, say, a weed and feed treatment, or you're treating lawns with something else, or you're not spraying a weed killer, the chances of you having a job when you are in a polytunnel and you're misting and all those types of things are very, very slim. Because you won't get those jobs without having your tickets, I doubt. But there's loads of gardeners that I know don't have their tickets for spraying. There are loads and loads of people offering the pressure washing of drives, etc. That'll go along, they'll spray the drive, and then they'll come back a couple of weeks later and they'll jet wash and resand it. I know quite a few that aren't licensed. What does it gain you having these tickets? Well, you are legal and you're covered then, so that's one thing, you should have them. Now, I think the course is maybe £500, £600, £700, depending on where you go. PA1's generally a 1-day course. You learn all your COSH labels. You learn everything you need to know about handling chemicals, the safety side of it and all that. The PA6 then is generally 2 days where you learn all about your knapsack sprayers. You've got to calculate your flow rates and all that, your application rates. You do your speed, your flow rate, your swath width, all this type of stuff you've got to calculate. There's a whole load of maths, but it is fairly easy. But then at the end of the day, the main one you're going to use is spot weed killing, because that's what most people do. We don't blanket spray stuff. Again, you do, if you're going to spray a lawn for weed treatment, you'll calibrate the size of the lawn. But even then, most people that I know, they don't go and measure a lawn, calibrate and work it out, and then they don't finish exactly when the tank is empty. They'll mix up a tank fill and they'll spray it and they'll leave it in the tank for the next lawn. That's what I've seen done, and that's what generally happens. So yeah, your PA1s, your PA6, like I say, it's a 1-day course, your PA1, it's a 2-day course, your PA6. Most places are like that. Couple of £100 each course. And then the PA1 was, for me, half-hour multiple choice question on a computer. Most of the questions I had not covered in the class, but it was easy enough to answer. And then your PA6 is maybe half a day test, which is you go in there, they give you a product label, you are given an area, you got to mark it out, you got to work out your spray width, you got to work out your speed, and you've got to know your flow rate. You go pump, 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 spray, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and you have to finish within a few meters before, a few meters after, and then they'll say, cool, you can go and spray a load of muck, and off you go. So that's generally it. So yeah, but I think if you're spraying Roundup and stuff like that, spot weed killing, you get your tickets, you're licensed to spray. But then if you're not doing all those calculations all the time and you're not spraying marked out areas, you'll end up spraying exactly the same as someone who is not kind of licensed. The one guy turned up who was doing the course, he was quite astounded with, was when you work out the right amount you want, it can actually be a lot less than the bottle says. So if you work it out per area, or if you work it out, the bottle tends to say 30 mils per litre or whatever, but if you do the calculations correctly for maximum dose rate, etc., on hard surfaces and bits like that, you can bring that down. So you can save some product, because it has gone real expensive. And also if you put too much on, obviously the plant shuts down rather than absorbs it. So that's PA1, PA6. Best thing you can do is really go and book yourself a course. And that's it really. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff you can find online about it. Right, that's that one. Cool. Oh, Mark also asked about commercial contracts, how I got into those. Are the PA1, PA6 beneficial? So I don't do tons of commercial stuff. Most of mine's on the weekend, so I don't want much more really, because so many of them have got cars and people and all that they're going on. I just want the hassle of people around and streaming and all those extra headaches. So I think most of my commercial stuff is from people contacting us. Maybe one or two I've got in when I was in the area and said, howdy doody, do you want someone to cut that horrendous looking lawn? And yeah, we've got a few jobs like that. But yeah, so but your PA1, PA6 on every commercial site that I do go into, I've said, this is what we're going to be doing. Here's our liability insurances, here's my spraying tickets, etc. If we're doing spraying, if there's tree work there to be doing, I say, here's my chainsaw tickets and all that. So yeah, we're covered for that. So it does help you with that. Right, Funky Duck Productions. Let me read this one out. Not because it's bad, just because I'm going to read it out to you. I will read it out to you if I can work my phone. Right, what are your thoughts on all these channels encouraging people to get into our industry, telling them how to start up, etc.? Do you see it as a good thing, or do you think it's very short-sighted, as eventually one of these new startups could be poaching their customers and quite literally taking food off the table? What are my thoughts on it? I think competition is good. Years ago there was less gardeners around, or gardening companies doing private work, because there was a generation ago when people didn't have the gardeners in. You wouldn't have a gardener in, do you garden yourself? But now everyone's professional, they're all busy, they're all office people, just don't want to get their hands dirty. God forbid you should go out in the morning and cut a bit of lawn. But yeah, we all get jobs from it. I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. I think next year, 2023, there'll be a load of startups because people will not be wanting to work for, I don't know, other companies, or they'd have left their jobs, or financially they need to try and do something on their own. And gardening is an easy setup because you can go to B&Q, you can buy a £100 mower, you can buy a £80 hedge trimmer, know nothing, and start. And I've seen some horrendous work done by people that have started up, but I've also seen some good work. But if you are starting your company up next year, don't be charging like £8 for a lawn when everyone else is charging like 35 quid. Not that I care that you'll be taking my 35 quid lawns off me, but just 8 quid for a lawn is just absolutely ridiculous. You might as well get a different job or work for someone else. So yeah, it doesn't bother me. Channels about starting, I think everyone's learning as they go along, and basically any video, any bit of content, any kind of Google stuff or stuff you read in the paper can all click with ideas of kind of how to start a business, what you should be doing, what people are looking for, and everyone gets their inspiration from different things. And you've just got to be good at your own job, have your own kind of area. People chop and change, and they between gardeners. Oh, I don't like him, he chopped this in half and I didn't ask him to, let's get so and so else in. And little does the customer know that a lot of us know each other, so we're all like, hey John, hiya mate, yeah, have you met that Mrs. Jones yet? Yeah, pain in the ass. So yeah, a lot of us do know each other. Does that answer the question? I don't think it does. I'll tell you one thing, I ain't going to do this question and answer thing again because it's actually quite hard work for me answering questions. Right, James Linton has said, me and my brother have started a garden maintenance business together as a partnership. Quoting. First of all, good luck with the company, and good luck working together, because that can be difficult, so get that sorted out first. Quoting, basically work out what you need to be earning, what a job's costing you to go and do, and go and quote, but don't be quoting cheap. Like I said just now, don't, because you're starting, don't think, oh, we need to do it cheap to get work. It won't work like that. You start quoting cheap, you'll always be quoting cheap. So look at a job, think of a fair price, and put a price in. Now, I don't leave doorstep prices very often at all now. I like to go away and think of a price to get it right. It's also one less interaction with the customer, because leaving prices can be a bit awkward. So yeah, if you're quoting, your brother's quoting, go there, look at it, look at everything. Look at the customer. I have put a couple of videos out, I'll try and tag them in. Look at the customer, look at the access, look at the work, consider whether you want to work for that person. So you've got to work out how much you want to earn in a day, how much a day is going to cost you, all those types of things, materials, and then you've got to just put your quote in, and that's it. It is one of the hardest things of the job, I think, is quoting. I'm all right with it now. It took me years and years to be quite relaxed with the job. Used to go there, the little portfolio, and hello, how are you? I'm Nathan from Lewis Garden Services. How may I be of assistance? Something like that. Anyway, then I'm like, all right, what do you want? All right, my lover, what do you want? Don't know what accent that is. Right, but yeah, I just turn up now and generally have a quick look what needs doing, have a bit of a chat, and you can get through. And that's it really. And then I work out a price, and it either gets emailed to them, messaged to them, and they let me know. Right, I think that's all the questions that I've been asked. Let me have a scan through. Yeah, apart from Roger Soper, big shout out to Betty, 2-year-old Labrador. Right, I've waffled on for long enough, and I'm not sure if any of my answers answered any of your questions good enough, but yeah, getting on in the year now, I need a break. I realised last night I need a break. So yeah, I have reached my limits. Right, thanks for checking in. I will catch you all next time. I will do some videos for you running up to Christmas. I think I'm going to do a few kind of machine reviews and bits and bobs like that. And yeah, what other jobs come up. Right, thanks for checking in. Catch you all later.